The new Red Bull has just been revealed, and the team appears to have made more changes to the car than was expected previously. The car launch was held at Milton Keynes and had many key personnel from the team features, including team principal Christian Horner and both drivers. The RB20, which is what the team has named its new challenger, features a very similar livery to the car the team used last year. Still, diving a bit deeper, we can see some significant changes to its aerodynamic structure. The most significant change can be seen on the side pods, where the inlets have become vertical slits instead of the more common horizontal ovals. This has also forced them to change the floor design, which now focuses air towards the inlets. Red Bull Chief Technical Officer Adrian Newey and his team were able to channel the wasted air that crossed from the front of the car better by using circular cross-section ducts placed at the base of the engine covers. This change was not visible from the spy shots of the car taken at Silverstone a few days prior, and fans began to speculate whether the car would receive adequate cooling. But with the actual car now being revealed, this doesn't seem to be much of an issue, and the car should not have trouble receiving enough air at the high speeds these cars run at. Newey previously stated that the new car would be an evolution of the last 2 years, which is something Red Bull can afford due to their lead in performance. Our car will be very much a third evolution of the 22 car, he said. So last year's car was an evolution of the 22 in the main points being the normal winter development. In terms of aerodynamics, some understanding of what we need to do with the suspension to try to improve the car as well, and getting weight out of it because we never got down to the weight limits in 22. This year's car is the third evolution of that original RB18. Now, what we don't know, of course, is whether the third evolution is too conservative, while others have done something different. You just don't know. He also explained the decision not to develop a new car for this year, and it all comes down to the team's budget cap. It's a difficult one. This is that question of whether we should have a group that goes out and looks at completely left field ideas. Or do we keep developing the route we've taken? We're resource limited, so we can't do everything and can't look at every avenue. So we've taken the approach of developing what we've got. Hopefully that'll be the prudent thing. Another significant change in the car can be seen at the rear, where the car appears to have shoulders, which supposedly improve the aerodynamics of the car, but is something unique to the Red Bull. The bulges run down the whole length of the engine covers, right under the main Red Bull logo. While other teams are trying to align themselves with the previous RB19, Red Bull is innovating on the car, making it perform leagues above every other team. Newey talked about the results of the shakedown test held at Silverstone earlier this week, commenting that he found them to be on par with their expectations. Is that enough? Who knows? That's the thing about Formula One. We know roughly what we've done from the shakedown at Silverstone. It seems to have, from what we can tell, behaved as we expected it to. But that's no guarantee of anything. It could be that some other team have made a bigger jump than us. We shall have to see. But what is not known currently is what Red Bull was benchmarking their car against. As last year as well, they stated that before the season started, they did not expect their car to do so well. But then, the RB19 ended up having the most successful season for a car in the history of the sport, winning all races bar one. Technical Director Pierre Wachet also stated that he has a good feeling about the RB20 from initial simulations and the shakedown. He said, "We try to identify where we can build performance on the car. We try to also understand where the weakness is for the driver. Evolve the car around this type of thinking and understanding after it's just an evolution of what we did in the previous year." But at the same time, people commented how the new car had taken certain aspects, including the vertical side pod inlets, from the Mercedes of last year, and the team was quick to strike such accusations down, stating that the team spent a lot of time in the wind tunnels innovating and just chose what looked best for performance. We can see rival cars have been influenced by RB19, and we're expecting other teams to converge. Team principal Christian Horner said, "I think the team have done a wonderful job on RB20. They haven't sat on their laurels, and you can see that they've pushed the boundaries with the car. We'll only see when we get on track what the relative pecking order is for the start of the season." There's some great innovation on the car as well, which will no doubt get scrutinized over the coming weeks. Creativity has been strong in the team, and you can see that in some of the solutions that they've come up with. It's not a conservative evolution. There's some great innovation on this car. He added, It's not tactical, it's based on performance and what we're seeing through our simulation tools. Obviously, the car looks quite visibly different in certain areas to last year. Only the stopwatch will tell, but in the virtual world we wouldn't have committed it to design if we didn't feel it was better. The main difference between the design in the RB20 and the early season W14 from Mercedes is that Mercedes was using their zero-pod design, which basically meant that the car had no side pod at all. In contrast, the RB20 clearly has a more traditional-looking side pod. The bogies on the engine cover are also reminiscent of the W14, which was a prominent part of the cooling design that Mercedes used. Both Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez also talked about the comment that Red Bull was taking inspiration from Mercedes. Max said, "I would still call it a Red Bull style, but I know what you mean." Perez added, "It just shows the hunger that we have. We have such a dominant car last year that you wouldn't expect us to change the concept that much." I think it is really brave from Red Bull to do. Only time will tell whether Red Bull's changes allow them to improve their lead over the rest of the pack as compared to last year. But if their track record is anything to go by, they may be aiming to win every race this season. Verstappen, who is looking for his 4th title with the team, commented on the direction the car has gone in, saying that he appreciated that they went all out with the design. "I'm quite happy with the direction that they chose," Verstappen said. "I saw the drawings, I think, in Abu Dhabi, the last race. I was like, wow, that's quite different in a way, and they've not been conservative, let's say like that. I think what I like about the team is that we had a great package, but they took the chance to really go all out, I would say, and try to make it better. Of course, time will tell if it's really, really good. But from what I see within the team, everyone is just happy with what they have achieved in the winter. But then again, we don't know. We can't control what the other people did. But Horner suspects that the team will not be able to do a repeat of last year, as the new regulations, combined with the strides other teams have made, will bring the pack closer together. I think to set a target of winning all the races would be very difficult. I mean, we achieved 21 out of 22 last year, and only Singapore got away from us, so technically we can improve. But logically, there's going to be convergence with stable regulations. All eyes will be on the favourites this year when pre-season testing begins, and just a week later, the cars will line up on the grid for the first race of the year. Red Bull will be hoping to start the new season with a bang, but only time will tell how the new car performs. What do you think of the new RB20? Is the car as different from last season as the team portrays? Or will their lack of development lead to others catching up? Let us know in the comments down below. As always, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Formula One news.